Welcome to the Amazing Authorities Podcast, where game changers, visionaries, and category leaders share how they built their brands, platforms, and global influence. Your host is Mitch Carson, international speaker, media strategist, and creator of the Instant Authority System. If you're ready to learn from those who've done it and want to become the go-to expert in your space, you're in the right place.
Teddy, I'm excited to have you here today. You have been a guest to my private group, sharing with them some of your Amazon ads secrets and using AI, which is the buzzword of today. So I'm going to allow you to take the floor, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to share with the group today.
Great. Well, thanks, Mitch. So yeah, my name's Teddy Smith. I'm from the UK, but I live in Portugal at the moment. And today we're going to be talking about how you can use AI to basically be a success with Amazon ads. And we're going to talk about how you can use AI to find keywords and how you can use it to manage your whole account. But before that, we'll be going into why ads are so important. We'll be looking at things like how you can use ads to get your organic rank up, how you can use ads to make more sales, and what the purpose of your ads should be and what your strategy should be.
Okay, great. Well, I didn't know you were in Portugal. I didn't notice the Portuguese accent. I thought you were British, but I'll let you go ahead from there.
Right, I'll just share my screen now. Okay. Right. Okay, can you see that perfectly, Mitch?
Perfectly.
Great. So yeah, so as I mentioned, my name is Teddy Smith, and today we're going to be talking about Amazon Ads Mastery. So the reason we do this presentation and we want to speak to you all about Amazon Ads is because it's a lot of people have a lot of confusion about Amazon Ads. They kind of take them and think they're going to be just for making lots and lots of sales, and that's not the only strategy you should be using for your Amazon Ads. And the reason we like to talk about them is because people are very frustrated. They'd find them confusing. They don't know how to do them. They end up costing a lot of money. They don't necessarily get any of the advantages of using ads and they also don't take advantage of the extra benefits that ads give you that aren't just around making more sales. So today we're going to talk about some of the different benefits you can get from ads. But just to give you an introduction to myself, I am a self-publisher. I've made over 7 figures on Amazon selling books and also products as well. And I've become an expert on Amazon ads. Now, all of the success I've had on Amazon has been down to understanding how Amazon ads work and making the most of using Amazon's in-ads advertising platform to really boost my sales and grow my reputation in my business. I'm also a host of a podcast called The Publishing Performance Show, and you can find that on all of the main platforms. You can find it on YouTube and also on Apple and all of Spotify and all the main ones. Mitch has been one of my favorite guests I've had on the show, so you can find that episode first when that comes out in a month or so. And I'm also on the socials, all of the different links at Teddy A.G. Smith, so you can find me there. Here's just a link to my royalties page on Amazon, so you can see over the last however many years it's been, I've had over 2.5 billion Australian dollars worth of sales, royalties, on Amazon. So I've been a big success on Kindle. It's been a real great thing for me to use to make sales. I've absolutely loved using it. And it loved seeing how passive some of the book sales can be once you get them moving. And this is linked to my show if you want to come and find it. So that's just my credentials, so you can see a bit about who I am and what I do. Now, today we're going to talk about 5 things. But firstly, we're going to be looking at the Amazon Ads platform itself and why it's important. We'll be showing you exactly how Amazon Ads work, specifically for authors, because it is slightly different. Amazon Ads are slightly different for authors than they are for product sellers or for people who've maybe used Facebook ads or Google ads. Then we'll look at different types of books, and we'll show you then at the end how you can use AI to really improve your ads. And it's a really amazing system we've created that essentially creates a set and forget that you can plug into your ads and get them running over the long time without any needing to adjust them at all. So firstly, let's look at why sell on Amazon. Well, Amazon is by a long way the biggest platform for authors to sell. It's something like 80% of all book sales in America were done through Amazon last year. It is an absolute phenomenal amount. So if you are selling books, realistically, you have to be selling on Amazon, whether you like it or not. And what's great about Amazon is it has a really huge buyer intent. Like everyone who goes onto Amazon is looking for something to buy. It's not like Google where people are maybe browsing for stuff or just looking around. People on Amazon really are looking to buy stuff. And that's what is the most important thing about it is. Now, obviously, people have criticisms of Amazon, but at the moment, it really is the only place you can be selling books if you are serious about creating a book business rather than just being a writer. It also helps you to get into lots of different countries. Their commissions are pretty good when you factor in the amount of traffic they bring you. And also, they have this amazing inbuilt ad platform, which means you can take advantage of their algorithm. So Amazon ads work slightly differently to how Google and Facebook ads work, and we'll go through all these different parts individually. So as we mentioned, Amazon is the biggest ebook platform. But what you need to think about Amazon ads is it's a search engine. Exactly the same as Google is a search engine, exactly as the same as other Pinterest and other apps are also search engines, Google being the biggest. But the difference is on Amazon, people are looking to buy stuff. On Google, people may be looking for interesting things. If someone searches Nike onto Google, they might not be looking for Nike shoes. They might just be looking for the history of Nike, or they might be looking for all of Nike's products or Nike's branding. If you search Nike into Amazon, then what you're looking for is to buy Nike products. And it's a bit of a clear distinction that you need to think about of Amazon. And it works exactly the same with books. So say, for example, you've got a non-fiction book and it's all about how to be a successful author. Now, if I search on Google how to be a successful author, I'm going to see blog posts by places like Penguin Random House or HarperCollins. I might see some other influencers who have written blogs about how to be a successful author. If I type how to be a successful author into Amazon, what I'm going to be shown is books about how to be a successful author. And you can go and buy those books. And that is a clear distinction between what Google is like as a search engine and how Amazon works as a search engine. Now, it works in a very similar way, though. It works on things called keywords. Now, keywords are just another word for search terms. It's what people use to search for things. And there's lots of different tools you can use to help you with your keywords. One of my favorites being Publisher Rocket. And I know those guys are speaking at this conference as well. So definitely check out that talk too, because it's one of my favorite pieces of software to use. But it works exactly like that. It uses keywords. People search keywords on Amazon, and what they expect to see are results which are related to those keywords. And the way that Amazon orders those books or products works exactly the same way, is with what's something called the organic rank. Now, Amazon needs to learn which keywords your books are going to rank for, because they want to show books to the customers that the customers are going to buy. And they use lots of algorithms and back-end systems to work out which books to show to the customers. And this is how that system works. Now, this is what I call the Amazon flywheel. And there's a few different factors here. So let's start at the top. Now, the most important thing about any business, especially online, is getting traffic, because without traffic, you've got no eyeballs on your books and your products. So when you get traffic, that's when customers can then start to make a purchase. Now, there's no purchases that can be made without traffic, obviously. And once you've had purchases, you can get more reviews, which enhances your reputation. And all of those things factor in to increase your organic rank. And the higher your organic rank is, the nearer to the top of the page you'll appear, and then the more traffic you'll get, and the more purchases you'll get. And it moves around and around like this. But Amazon won't let you get to the top of this traffic until you've made more purchases, got a better reputation, and got more rank. So when you first launch a book on Amazon, they often don't put you near the top of the organic rank unless you've already got a famous name or maybe some sales history with your reputation with Amazon. So in order to get more traffic, sometimes you need to do ads, and ads basically sit right here in between rank and traffic. By doing ads, you can then get people to go to your listing using particular keywords, which then starts the flywheel moving and can help you to improve your organic rank. Now, by improving your organic rank, you can get to the top of the searches and start making more sales organically, which means you get more royalties, which is the aim of ads, really, to make more royalties. Now, there's a few different things that affects the algorithm, and this is a really, really important slide to understand for all authors if you want to be a success on Amazon. Now, the first thing that affects the algorithm is obviously relevance. Now, what relevance means is, what did the customer search for? If the customer searched for a book, how to be a successful author, the customer wants to see books about how to be a successful author. They don't really want to see books about how to write mystery thrillers or how to write comic books. What they're looking for is books about how to be a successful author. So that relevance is really important, and that's where your keyword searches come in, and when you can use tools like Publisher Rocket to really improve your keywords that you're searching for. The next part is sales history. Now, obviously, if your book is called How to Be a Successful Author, for example, Amazon is going to note that, but there might be other books which are also around the same topic of how to be a successful author. And this is when the other factors come in. So sales history. If you make a sale against a particular keyword, Amazon tracks it. They say, when people search for how to be a successful author, they buy Mitch Carson's book. And so as a result, what we're going to do is next time someone searches how to be a successful author, we're going to show that book slightly higher up the rankings, because we know that when people search for it, they then go and buy it. Because you've got to remember, Amazon only cares about selling stuff. They all they want to do all the time is sell books, sell products. The next factor is availability. Now, this won't really affect you if you're a KDP author. This only really affects you if you're a published author and you've got your books physically printed and sitting in a warehouse. But obviously, if your book's not in stock, Amazon's not going to show it to the customers. And this is one of the beauties of print on demand and ebooks. Your books are always in stock. Secondly, are things that you can't control quite as much, but are also important. Customer behavior. You can't really control customer behavior because Amazon looks at your previous purchase history as a customer and then uses that to decide which products to show you as a customer. Now, you can't really do anything about this, and it's one of the reasons why we use incognito, or I recommend you use incognito when you're researching book ideas, because it means that Amazon's not tracking your previous sales history. The last one is indirect factors, and this is basically your brand's reputation. How many reviews do you have? What's your book cover like? What are the micro conversions, we call them? So things like the click-through rate and that sort of thing, conversion rates. Amazon tracks that stuff. And if you can get those factors looking good, that can also impact your organic rank. But the most important are relevance and sales history. So let's have a look here at a couple of pages of what the organic rank looks like. So if we just look here, now I took this screenshot a couple of days ago when I was preparing this presentation, but here we're looking at romance books. So romance books, you can see, it's quite a broad keyword. It's not really clear exactly what I'm looking for, but you can see that the book that's number one here is called Forged in Blood by Sadie Kincaid, who's a very famous author. And the second one is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, also another famous author. Now, what is interesting is that, so at the moment, Amazon thinks these two are the ones that I want to buy, given those factors that we looked at before. So the relevance of the search, my search history, and also the micro conversions and the sales history of these books. But you can see there's these other three books here, which are appearing above. So these books, The Deal by someone called L. Kennedy, and then Finding Hayes, Laura Pavlov. Now, I've never heard of either of these two authors. That doesn't mean they're not famous, but I've never heard of either of these two authors. And so what they've done is they said, right, Amazon, when customers search for romance books, I want to appear near the top. That's a keyword that I want to rank for. So they're paying to appear here. So if I click on these listings, I would pay Amazon some money. No, sorry, the author would pay Amazon some money for that click. But if I clicked on Finding Hayes and then I bought the book, Amazon will go, when people search romance books, they buy this book by Laura Pavlov. Let's put a note there that there's a connection between those two books, and possibly we'll show that book higher up the ranking next time. Works exactly the same for non-fiction books. The keywords don't really change between fiction and non-fiction. This is a really great example of how it works, because there's this book here, Life Skills for Teens. Now, this book is self-published. This book has been around for ages, and it's a really competitive niche. There's loads of books about life skills for teens. Now, this one is appearing near the top of the ranking. It's got loads of reviews, 9,500 reviews, and it's appearing at the top. And the second one is 239 reviews, similar sort of book. Now, these other two books, which have got hardly any reviews, 41 and 29. So they're pretty new books, I'd have thought. Now, they're actually appearing above this one because they are paying to appear here. Now, just to prove the point that Amazon ads are important for your organic ranking, this guy, Karen Harris, she's not only appearing number one, she's paying to appear at the top of the searches as well, because she realizes the importance of this keyword to her book selling business. So it just goes to show even people that are appearing high, they want to keep appearing high, and ads the best way to do that. It's the only one of the only metrics you can really control with Amazon is how much you spend on ads and how you control it.
And it's 2 bites at the apple, so their overall sales will be better.
Yeah, exactly right. So you've got 2 bites of the apple. Like, if you are making sales, you're just happy to keep near the top. And this chart is it's not my chart. I've stolen it from a company called Advanced Web Ranking. So if you want to go and hat tip to Advanced Web Ranking, if you want to go and check them out afterwards. But this is basically showing you the importance of different positions and what your click-through rate is for those different positions. Organic number 1, the position is your click-through rate is 30%, which means if 100 people search romance books for authors and you're ranked organic rank number 1, 30 of them will click on your book. Now, that's amazing. If you've got 30 people clicking on your book, then obviously it goes down quite a lot. Like position number 2, it's half. And then it goes down, once you're down here, it goes to almost nothing. So it just shows you the importance of appearing near the top. And really, the only thing you can do to control whether you appear at the top or not is by using Amazon ads and by understanding which keywords you want to appear for. That's the importance of Amazon ads. Now, a lot of people think, Amazon ads is just a great way to make sales. Actually, often it's not the best way to make sales if you're just looking at the top line number. What the point of it is to improve your rank, get organic sales, improve your reputation. And that's why we look at advertising spend as part of your overall marketing strategy, not as just a one-click win to just make sales. It's got to be part of your overall marketing strategy. So let's have a look at how you actually rank highly. Now, just factor in the algorithm graph I made on the left, but the most important thing is making a great book. If you don't make a great book, people aren't going to leave you good reviews. They're not going to enjoy reading the book. They maybe, if they're on KNP read, maybe they'll just read 5 or 10 pages and not read any more. You want to make a great book. That's the most important thing you can do. Now, the book cover, a lot of people say, don't judge a book by its cover, but that's actually really bad advice. People always judge books by their cover, and I've got loads of data to prove that people judge books by their cover. By having a great book cover, you can increase your click-through rate, which means you can then get people onto a listing, and then you can improve your conversion rate. Now, the title is really important too. There's not much you can do about your title once you've written it. So you can't change your title. At least I've never found a way of getting Amazon to change my title. Mitch, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't change your title or your subtitle once you've published it. So if you have already published a book, don't worry about it. You can't do anything about it. So there's no point worrying about it. But if you're thinking about a new book, maybe consider having a title that is really engaging, but also is including the main keywords you want to rank for. Now, reviews, absolutely vital. If you just think about how you shop yourself, are you going to buy the book with 1 review or the one with 10,000 reviews? Now, if you do see lots of books in your niche with 10,000 reviews, maybe consider that niche. Is it the best keyword for you to target?
Hey, Teddy, I got a question about reviews because this is an important one. How many reviews, if there's data to support it, make you look legitimate? Because 0 reviews means, nobody wants to buy a sinking ship or something that hasn't been reviewed. What is the magic number? And that could change per category. Like romance, which is hugely sought after, you see thousands of reviews.
Yep.
J.K. Rowling gets thousands of reviews, but those are anomalies. But for somebody that's in the nonfiction category and they're writing a book, about parenting or something, what number do they have to aspire to achieve?
Yeah, it's a really great question. And it's not, there isn't an exact answer to it, but I can tell you what I've seen from the data.
Correct.
So with my own advertising strategy, I personally advertise even when I've got 0 reviews. I understand that my conversion rate is going to be less, but I just want to get started straight away. But the number I see that ticks over, 20 is when I start seeing that conversion rate increase, and then 50 and 100 have quite big jump ups as well. After 100, the increases are much smaller. Like the difference between 100 and 150, there is no difference. The difference between 100 and 1,000 or 500 is quite a big difference. So you want to get to 20 as soon as possible. And I always try to get to 20 reviews in my launch process as part of my first 2 to 3 weeks. Like I want to, after 1 month, if I haven't got 20 reviews for a book I've launched, then I'm pretty disappointed with how I've done that.
Okay.
Now, I'm at an advantage where I've already got an advanced reviewer crew and people like that. I can get that out there quicker. But there are services to help you get reviews, places like Pubby, Booksprouts, FreeBooksy, these sort of places. There's some good softwares you can use. But try and get those first 20 reviews as fast as possible, and then move up to 50 reviews after that.
BookBite, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, they're all these.
BookBite, yeah.
But they take work. But I the number is important. I think you have to show the credibility.
Yeah. I think to 20 is the first milestone, and that's your first time you can celebrate, I think.
Okay.
And 50 is when it makes a bigger difference. Now, sales, as we mentioned before, sales history and relevance, those are the two most important factors in your ranking. So how many sales have you made against a particular keyword? Now, that's quite important because if you sell books not against keywords, Amazon doesn't necessarily track you in exactly the same way. So if you do sell books directly through your website, for example, Amazon will increase your rank, but not necessarily against particular keywords that you want. The Amazon will just factor in the fact that it gets lots of sales. So it is still good, but getting them through searches on Amazon is better. And relevance is the most important. Like, even if your book sells 1 million copies, like if your book's Harry Potter, for example, it's not going to appear in searches for how to train my dog. That relevance is still the most important factor, obviously. So think about that one first. And yeah, we've been through this slide already, showing you the most important factors about these parts here. So there's 5 real Amazon objectives with your advertising. There's building your brand, building a book series brand, taking sales from the competition, increasing your overall sales. But the most important one, which I've underlined, is ranking for keywords. Now, these other ones are strategies. Like if you have a series of books you want to promote, you could do a brand ad and build your author's brands. That's a perfectly legitimate thing to do. If you want to just take sales from competition, you could do a product targeting ad, and that is a perfectly legitimate thing to do. If you just want to increase your sales, just have a huge budget and keep doing that. Again, perfectly legitimate. People have different strategies. But the most important one is ranking for keywords, because ranking for keywords is going to get you organic sales as well. Now, in Amazon, when you go to set up your advertising campaigns, there's 2 types of targeting you can do. We're not looking at brand ads. We're just looking at product targeting ads. But there's 2 different types of targeting you can do. You've got automatic targeting and manual targeting. Now, automatic targeting, Amazon basically does it all for you. And the good thing about automatic targeting is that it's really easy to get set up. Manual targeting is when you choose the keywords or the products you want to target, and that is how you can appear for the exact keywords you want. So it's much more specific, but it's a bit more complicated. So let's have a look at the pros and cons. So with automatic targeting, the ads allow Amazon to basically go forth and target whatever they need to do in order to get your book shown in front of the customers that Amazon wants. Amazon basically does it all for you. It's super straightforward to get set up. And if you want to do automatic ads, you can stop listening to this presentation now and just go and do it, because it's really easy to get set up. Now, the benefits, that's the main benefit of it. The downside to it is you don't have any control over the keywords you get targeted for, apart from negative targeting. You can get quite expensive. Amazon has no incentive to optimize your campaign at all. Amazon is very happy to just keep you spending 50 cents to $1 per click without making any sales, because they know that's one way of making income for themselves. And also, Amazon's reports are pretty complicated to understand. You go through the reports and you're looking through different percentages, stats. It's hard to know exactly which parts you should be looking at to understand it all. Excuse me. Now, let's have a look at manual targeting. Now, manual targeting, much better for your overall strategy. You have full control over which keywords you want to target. You get to choose your own bids. You get to choose your own budgets. You can completely optimize all of it manually. You can go through keyword by keyword and specifically target particular keywords that you want to rank for. It's really granular. You can go into lots of detail. And if you are an ads expert, this is where you want to go in and choose the keywords you want to rank for. Excuse me, Mitch. I've just got... Apologies, Mitch. So the problem with the manual targeting campaigns is they are quite time consuming. you've got to choose your keywords, you've got to go and set up the campaigns, and then you've got to adjust them every week or every couple of days to make sure you're making them better for you. And the reporting is still complicated to understand. You've still got to look at things like click-through rate, conversion rate, all those sort of things to understand what's going on. Plus, it does really require some technical knowledge, I think, to read the reports and really understand what it says. Like the reports you get from Amazon are basically Excel spreadsheets that have just got lots of numbers on them. It's, I like them because I'm a data nerd. But if you're not a data nerd, then it is a bit complicated to understand. Most of you are writers. You're not Excel people like I am. So manual campaigns, very good, but much more complicated and time consuming. So let's have a look at some of the reports. And these are some of the things you've got to be looking for in the reports. Now, the bid, that's the amount you're willing to pay for each click. Now, you might not pay this amount. You might pay slightly more or slightly less, depending on competitors' bids and some other factors such as the conversion rate. But Amazon always wants to make sales. So the bid is how much you're willing to pay for each click. Now, the cost per click is on average how much you're spending per click. So when people click on your ads, then how much are you spending for each of those clicks? Impressions is how many people have seen it. So this is a very important one to understand, because if your ad's being viewed lots of times, but no one's buying it, that means you've got a problem with your conversion rate. Now, clicks, obviously, that's how many people clicked on your campaign. Spend is how much you've spent on particular keywords. And the click-through rate is what percentage of people click through to your listing based on how many impressions they've had. So if 100 people see your ad, 10 people click through, then your click-through rate is 10%. Then the most important metric really is ACoS. ACoS stands for advertising cost of sales. And essentially, advertising cost of sales is what percentage of your sales have come from ads. So if you have $100 worth of sales and you've spent $10, then your ACoS is 10%. So quite easy to understand. You want your ACoS in theory to be as low as possible, because you want your profit margin to be, and you want to make as many sales as possible. But if you remember what we were talking about before about your overall campaign objectives, now, are you aiming to increase your sales overall? In which case you want a low ACoS. If you're trying to create campaigns that mean you start getting more organic rank, you don't necessarily need a low ACoS, because you don't need, whilst your ads themselves might not be profitable, what you've got to look at is your ads as a percentage of your overall sales. So you're looking at your overall royalties and hoping that your ads are less than your overall royalties. And that's that's one of the most important things to understand about Amazon ads. They are the best way to build your organic rank up so you can start to make organic sales.
That's great. Well, Teddy, you've got a software solution, because we're almost at our end here, that they can use. Tell us quickly about that, and we'll have that in the links, of course, in the author. All the authors will have their links to where they can do this. Let's get to what you can do very quickly.
Sure. Sounds great. So as I mentioned before, you've kind of got that intersection of data people and creatives, and that's kind of where most authors sit. And that's why we built publishing performance in the first place. So the problem with Amazon ads is they're either not profitable if you're using automatic ads, or they are complicated, and people don't know how to make adjustments to their ads. And so that's why we built publishing performance. So it took all our expertise of everyone who has, all our people who we've made millions of dollars of sales on Amazon, been really successful with ads. And we took that knowledge and used AI to basically become your Amazon ad account manager. Now, a normal Amazon ad account manager is, $500 to $2,000 a month, depending on how experienced they are. What we're looking at with publishing performance is using AI to make some of those decisions that you should be making, but aren't. And as a result, we can use AI to increase your sales and reduce your ACoS. And let's have a quick look at how it works. Yeah. Oh, I'll just pause that. Don't want that. And we'll go onto this, what it is. So this is what the publishing performance platform looks like. It basically plugs directly into your KDP account and starts setting up your campaign straight away. And it uses AI to choose the keywords and make the bid adjustments on an ongoing process. So say all you have to do is plug it into your Amazon account, which takes 3 minutes. And then you set your budget for each of your campaigns, and then it will start to run those campaigns and hopefully start to make you sales. Now, some of the main features of it is it's just really quick to get set up. That's the main part. And you can just set it and forget. There are some changes you can make, and the algorithm does change within our AI platform over time, but it's super easy to use. And if you've ever used Amazon Ads yourself, you can see what's the platform is complicated to look at. It's difficult to understand what stats you should be looking at, and it's hard to understand. Whereas with the publishing performance platform, it makes it really easy to understand exactly what sales you've made, what keywords you've been ranking for, and your most important stats like your ACOS. And we've had really great success with so many people using it, and it's been driving people to their listings. It's been driving more sales. We've had lots of people with nonfiction books who are having great success, not with both making profit from their ads, but also selling books organically and increasing their overall rank for their books. Platform, it looks very straightforward. This is what it looks like. So once you plug it in, your ads will start running straight away without you having to do anything else. And it will save you a lot of time. It's
great.
And you can also get started for free. And we've got a code which Mitch will be able to share with you so you can get your first month for free.
Great. That's fantastic. Well, Teddy, thank you for your time today. And if they have more questions, I would imagine you have a Q&A on your website, which will answer all these questions. And we will, let's give it up for Teddy. Thank you very much for coming today. And get ready for our next speaker.
Thanks for tuning in to the Amazing Authorities Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps more experts like you rise to the top. For behind-the-scenes access and free resources to boost your authority, head to mitchcarson.com. Until next time, stay amazing.